Come on, interwebs, you can do it. There we go. So, welcome to the Pirates of Drinax. We're going to pick up where we left off last week. They will be going to dinner with Admiral Derokyn tonight. If you are watching on Twitch, scroll down. You should see some tiles there. If you don't see the tiles, click on my profile image and they should pop up for you. Each of those tiles will take you to a person's website. We would like to thank a friend of the Greenwater Guildhall. It should be noted that none of these are sponsorships or partnerships of any kind. We just really like their products. Tonight, we would like to thank the Speechless Bard. Speechless Bard, she and her husband make leather products for your tabletop role-playing games, such as leather covers for your core rulebooks. She has a full line of dice bracelets if you like to show off your geeky side. She has a dice rolling mat that when it is rolled up, it looks like a spell scroll. All of the stuff that she does is customizable, and she does all the work by hand. She's an amazingly talented artist. If you are in the United States and you want to order from her, you might want to give yourself a little bit of extra time. She's over in the UK, so it could take a little bit of time to cross the pond. If you're a fan of our Wednesday Night Traveler games, be sure to check out our website. The Pirates of Drinax website is hosted by Obsidian Portal. The adventure log on that site is written in the manner of Traveler News Service articles, and they don't just follow the characters, but they kind of deal with everything going on in the Trojan Reach as a whole, kind of a geopolitical situation. So a lot of these articles might be something that will affect the Travelers in a non-direct way. And of course, there are some things there that if the Travelers do something that is majorly newsworthy, they will pop up there. So be sure to check that out. I have to admit, the page hasn't been updated in a couple weeks. I've been kind of slammed lately, but I do have some articles that I'm going to be throwing up there here very soon. So, last week, you guys had a run-in with a blood gang in the streets of the lower city of Black Sand, and you made it. You went for lunch at Tux, had a nice vegetarian lunch with the owner of Tux, and you then, through carousing while at Tux, you learned about Varuk Nurgle's business office in the lower city. Now, Varuk Nurgle is a arms dealer and information broker. And you went to him to set up the two yahoos that were traveling with you, the two raiders from Ogma, from Hannigan's tribe. He was able to come to an agreement with them for their chest full of platinum and was very happy. And he broached the subject with you that if you were to do some work for him, that essentially he can open many doors in Thief. Using psionics and just gut reactions, you kind of get the feeling like this guy has a lot of irons in the fire. He has access to a lot of information. And Qingxi suspects that he may even be one of the legendary Lords of Thieves. Nothing to confirm that as of yet, but this guy seems to wield a lot of power, and he is a little old man surrounding himself with beautiful girls, and that he refers to as his nieces. And he just seems like there's more to him. And the deal that he offered you, or not deal, but he offered you the opportunity to place a spying device, and it's not just audio video, but also it has a intellect program on it that is capable of hacking in as a backdoor to nearby computer systems. And there was there was a collector who on Dolberg who purchased a bunch of black market Aslan artifacts. He's not in. Varuk Nurgle is not interested in the artifacts. He wants you. They were coming from another location, Salif to Vume, and then from Vume to Dolberg. And he says, if you were to go to Vume and place this on one of the artefacts and go about your merry day, that would be great. And he didn't offer to pay you anything. He just basically offered you favors. and you guys haven't decided on whether you're going to do that. Vume is only 1 parsec away, so it is a 1-week jump, and you could, do this job and go about your business. It seems like a pretty simple matter. You don't know, how complicated it might be once you get there. But it sounds like it's a pretty simple matter. But that's, for something to decide later. Tonight, you have the dinner with Admiral Derokyn. Now, the invitation was specifically for Ching Shi and Captain Beth Smith. But, as you are pirates and you commonly do, I don't know if Keith Clark wants to go along or if Keith has other ideas.
I would like to go along.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, are you guys once again doing any shopping for clothing before you go, or are you going to essentially wear the same classy clothes that you bought last time?
Yeah, I'll dust off my classy duds and wear that.
It's been a year, so I
That's
think it's
true.
okay to recycle after a year.
That's true. I mean, basically dinners with the Admiral are the only time that you ever wear these clothes.
Right.
What about Keith?
Yeah, I'll dust off my my old clothes as well.
Okay. All right. So let me pull up a description of the Rose Pavilion. So, yeah, I finally got my new desk put together, and it is a full-size office desk. It is gargantuan, and I did it all by myself. And that probably wasn't the wisest thing to do. Screwed up my back pretty good. So I've been kind of limping around and taking the oxycodone and Flexeril in an attempt to rest it up.
Is it comfortable?
The desk?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I have so I used to have one of those little corner desks, and which was great, except that so it was like tiered. So you have the glass base part, and it had this stupid keyboard tray on it, which was just dumb. And then it had a shelf above it, and then the very top shelf. Well, the printer was supposed to go on the second shelf, so that meant that you, in order to scan anything, you had to lean over the desk. So, I mean, that wasn't good for my back either. So, yeah, this is way better because it's just a corner desk piece, and it is...
So it's like a net gain for back comfort.
Yeah, totally,
Over
yeah.
time. If it survives long enough,
Yeah,
it'll make up for the pain it inflicted you in the past couple of days.
yeah. I mean, as long as I can get over this current bout of back pain, I should be great. So, the Rose Pavilion, they don't really give a whole... I thought they gave more of a description of this, but it is... if you have ever been to, like, a fancy steakhouse, I don't mean like, Roadhouse. I mean like, Stanford's or even the old Black Angus. That's a lot what the Rose Pavilion is like. Very dimmed lighting. And each of the booths the booths have, high leather couches or high back leather chairs. And they are kind of a semicircular with frosted smart glass. And they can actually be closed off and are soundproofed. And the frosting of the glass can, of course, be turned on or off. So some of the booths, as you come in, that are open, the glass is clear and you can see through them. In other booths, you see that the door is closed, privacy mode has been turned on, and the glass instantly frosts, and it is active noise canceling, so you can't hear what's being said inside. And you come in, and the hostess, she immediately knows who you are. She's been kind of told who to look out for. And she looks at Keith and she says, and she then turns to Captain Beth and she says, "Oh, I'm sorry, Captain. The invitation was only for you and your first officer."
So if we, oh my God, are they gonna like kick us out if I'm like Keith stays?
No. She says, if you'd like, I can go speak with the Admiral and see if adding an additional member would be all right.
Sure, that'd be great.
So she goes off. You guys are kind of standing around waiting for her to return. And sorry, I have to look at what this guy's
They
doing.
won't let you in, you would stand nearby, right? And hear like hours, there's some murder us or something. Forget, maybe 30,
Yeah, here he is. So as you're waiting for her to return, another pirate comes walking in, and you recognize this pirate, and you haven't seen him in over a year, but you recognize this is Peter Velus. If you remember, Peter Velus, so he's not dressed quite as nicely as you guys are. It looks like, he's cleaned up a bit, but he's wearing like a navy jacket, but it's open. You notice that it's missing a couple of buttons. Peter Velus was the pirate that had the big grudge against Aslan. And if you remember, the reason for his grudge was that he and his entire family were taken by slavers from the Glorious Empire, and his wife and child were killed by these slavers. And he was basically all kinds of messed up through torture. And now he basically has an absolute hatred for Aslan. He has come to be known as a pirate who almost exclusively preys on Aslan ships. There is a huge bounty out for him in the Herate and the Glorious Empire. And in that, the Aslan Herate, all of the clans want Peter Velus dead. He has caused numerous issues robbing their freight lines. And so he comes in and he shakes hands with all of you and he says, "Oh, it's been a while since I've seen you back on Thieves. How did that whole thing pan out there with Ferric Redthane?" Now, if you remember, Ferric Redthane was the guy who got frozen in carbonite and was left in orbit. And Miria Silverhand went and picked up his corpse because you guys told her where it would be. And
I'm trying to remember what the official story that we're supposed to have is about that, because that was kind of not supposed to. We weren't.
Yeah, I think we were supposed to execute him.
well, it happened anyways. And you kind of get the feeling like Peter Velus is kind of being a dick. He's taunting you with this question because in the news, both Ferric Redthane, excuse me, Ferric Redthane and Myria Silverhand were both apprehended by Imperial authorities and taken to Pax Rulin, and they kicked Ferric Redthane out an airlock and executed him. They were going to do the same thing to Myria Silverhand, but they found out that she is pregnant. She is now 6 months pregnant. And at the end of, once she gives birth, then they plan on kicking her out an airlock and putting the baby up for adoption. Is what the news feeds are saying.
Okay, I'll tell them that they got sentenced to sewing buttons onto uniforms for the rest of their natural lives.
Nice.
Maybe they could help him out a little bit.
He kind of grins and he says, "Very clever, Captain, very clever." And about that time, the waitress comes back and she says, "The Admiral says it would be fine for your chief engineer to join us as well." And she also signs in Peter Velus, and she takes the four of you back to Admiral Derokyn's booth. So you come back, and as soon as you go into the booth and have a seat, he engages his first officer actually engages the privacy mode, so the glass doors slide shut, and it kind of feels like all of your ears plug up for a split second as the active noise canceling hits, and the glass all frosts, and the Admiral is wearing an extremely crisp black uniform with red piping, and then he has just a silver pin that is just a silver letter D with a sword through it. And he says, "Thank you all for coming. Please have a seat." And he immediately looks to Captain Beth and he says, "So it seems that you have a very a very clever way of following through with your plans, as far as, when I ask you to kill somebody." He says, ultimately, I guess that leaves your hands clean because you somehow got the Imperium to actually do your dirty work for you, didn't you?
I suppose.
He says, he turns to look at Peter Velus and he says, "You need to calm down. You are causing me problems as far as the Aslan are concerned. We don't need Hair-8 ships from any of the clans showing up here at Thieves in orbit wanting to bombard the city because they're looking only for you." And Peter Velus just kind of laughs and he says, "Well, that sounds like it's going to be all your problem, not mine." And Derokyn turns to his first officer and he says, give him his share. And the first officer reaches down under his chair and he pulls out a case and he stands up, takes it over and sets it in front of Peter Velus. You can't see what's inside, but Velus kind of cracks open the case, looks inside, and he says, "That'll do nicely." And he says, "I don't really need to stay for a fancy steak dinner. I have business to attend to, but it was nice seeing you all again." And he turns to look at all the three of you and he kind of nods and says, I hope to see you on the spaceways. And he locks the case and he goes out of the booth and shuts the door. Mm-hmm. And Derokyn turns to you, Beth, and he says, I it has come to my attention that Ferric Redthane may have told you some rumors about me.
Go on.
He says, well, I just wanted to know if this was true or not, and what you would intend to do with that information.
Well, I hear rumors about everybody. I have to get them confirmed before I do anything.
Says, oh, I see. And he says, were you planning to confirm any of these rumors about me?
That was more of a side quest, honestly. Like, if we had time, we might get to it, but it's not on my priority action items list.
He says, things are moving fairly quickly at this stage here on Thieve. It might be in your best interests to keep this information to yourself. And in return for that, over the course of the next several months, you might see your station here on Thieve, your personal reputations and holdings here on Thieve increase. He says, unbeknownst to you, there are several people that are interested in seeing that you rise to the top.
Oh, really? That's nice.
About that time, the waitress comes in and he says, Admiral Derokyn says, oh, I already ordered for everybody. And they put plates in front of all of you. It is the biggest and best cut of steak you've ever seen. And, you know, all the fixings, baked potatoes, salad, the whole bit. And they just set, you know, a couple of bottles of whiskey and rum in the middle of the table, and the waiters turn around, leave, and the door shuts again. And Derokyn says, it might be of interest to you that I have a warehouse in the Cliffs district that perhaps you might want to use as a front office. Now, the Cliffs district, of course, is over here. You know, the view, of course, overlooks the lower city, which isn't a great view. But the Cliffs district is pretty much where anybody goes who wants to hire the shady types. But several businesses actually operate as though they are legit businesses, not owned by pirates at all. So there are corporations based in the area that specialize in illegal weapons, mercenary forces, banned technologies, and other questionable activities. The Cliffs District is known to be a one-stop shop for revolutionaries and war criminals. Going off the cliff is black sand slang for resorting to illegal methods. He says, so if you would, I would be willing to give this space to you, rent-free, of course, to set up any kind of legitimate front business that you might, you know, in order to wash your money, as it were.
Well, that's very generous.
He says,
I'll have to seriously consider your offer.
He says, of course, that would, that all depends on whether or not you keep this little rumor that you've heard to yourself.
But I mean, wash our money. All of our gains have come from completely above board endeavors as couriers and transport. So I mean, what possible reason would we have to need to wash anything?
Well, not all of your money. I mean, there was that crate of animatronic toys that you pirated. There's been some other things that you've pirated.
Just transported.
Well, it'd be good to have
we just get things to the people who need them. That's all.
really noble. That's really.
Yeah.
We got
We're team players with can-do attitudes. I don't know why we would need a money laundering operation.
those toys to war orphans. You donated the animatronic toys to war orphans, right?
So if we keep the secret, how can he be sure that nobody else has been told the rumor?
Well, he says, to my knowledge, and keep in mind that my knowledge is vast and I have eyes everywhere. To my knowledge, you're the only people that that Mr. Redthane may have brought this up to.
Oh,
He would have, false or not, he would have gotten it from somewhere. Maybe
Well,
your organization isn't as airtight as you think.
well, no, Ferric Redthane at one time was a part of the Admiral's crew.
Yeah, if this was bullshit, he wouldn't be bribing us so hard. And so this more or less confirms that it's true to me.
Yeah, methinks the lady doth protest too much.
But I'm not going to say that now because I feel like we're going to get spaced if we don't at least play along. Like,
Right,
somewhere.
fair.
So he says, if you agree to keep that information to yourself, I think that we can have a wonderful future together, and I would give you this office space / warehouse you can use as a front operation to launder your credits. He says, or really clean your credits, rather. He doesn't use the word launder. That's crass. He says, I realize we're all legitimate businessmen here.
Well, you don't become a successful, legitimate businessman by spreading lies. So, I mean, we'll take the property. It never hurts to have a place to land somewhere, and mind our own business.
He says, excellent. And so he sends to all of you it is a landing code. So in the future, if you don't want to dock at the Skull, he gives you a personal landing code that you can key in and thus land at the spaceport here in the Upper City.
Freaking awesome.
And
Second part,
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say maybe Carl and Bjorn could be like the staff while we're out and about.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, that would be an excellent spot for Bjorn.
They'll be putting together all the IKEA filing cabinets and all
And
that.
rumors about the disappearance of that girl. Yeah.
Hanging Bob Ross like paintings of landscapes on the wall.
Yes. Probably a couple of Varger paintings just to, blind the person as they walk into the office.
Excellent.
So you guys finish your excellent dinner, and Admiral Derokyn seems in quite the good mood. Not quite as, of course, he's always stoic, but compared to the last time you met him, he almost seems aloof and jovial. And
See, Grandpa's having a good day.
and so, with your dinner complete, he says to you as you're leaving, he says, "I understand that you were given an offer by Varuk Nurgle. It would be a good choice to take care of that.
I see. It's kind of weird that their interests are aligned, but okay.
Well, and it's also weird that he knows about it.
Right. That's what I thought.
Yeah, he sure has spies everywhere. Or electronics, or the widows are doing it, or who knows.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you're not sure how much he's tied into the widow network, or if the network even answers to him. It seems like Derokyn is at the top of the food chain. But again, Thief is not run by any one person, or even it couldn't be said that the Lords of Thief run Black Sand or the planet as a whole. It's more like they pull a lot of strings in the shadows, but the city really is just kind of an open pirate haven. There's no real leader, so to speak. But if there were, in an underworld kind of way, you would think that the Lords of Thief, whoever they may be, you know that he's one, and you know that he's one, you know that Peter Velus is one, and you know that Hurl Irontooth is one. And you know that they don't all get along. But you've also heard that there are others that you're not aware of. Ferric Redthane was trying really hard to get in, and that didn't work out well for him.
What about the curly uncle guy? What's his name?
Varuk Nergal? Yeah,
Yeah.
You suspect that he could be one, but you don't have any confirmation yet.
Mm.
But Derokyn is saying that it would be wise to do that mission for him because, Varuk can open doors for you.
Yeah, they have some kind of allegiance. I don't know if it's just practical or what, but all right. But does that mean the Imperium's interest is in this too?
So, yeah, yes and no. So, the Imperium, as far as you know, so you don't know what the full deal is with Derokyn. The rumor that you know, that you were told by Ferric Redthane, is that Derokyn is actually an Imperial spy, which seems weird to you. The other piece of information that you know is that it seems like General Development Company has a huge interest in Thief. Like, their products come and go through here all the time. Like, they have a lot of money going in and out of Thief. And 3, you know that not all of the Lords of Thief get along. So, for instance, Peter Velus hates Aslan. Hurl Irontooth is an Aslan. So those two do not get along. You'll never see those two in a civilized meeting together in a room. That's just never going to happen. So, yeah. Thief is a mystery. Now, the other piece of information that you know, the Imperium stops by Thief every so often. I mean, the naval base at Rilgar, I believe, is only like 3 parsecs away. The Imperial Navy shows up. The Grand Hotel has a discount rate for Imperial naval officers, and the casino on the base floor of the hotel basically caters to Imperial interests. Everything about the Grand Hotel screams Imperial tourist to you. And because of these discount packages, they keep plying these, whenever the Imperials show up, They ply them with drinks and free rounds at gaming tables, and basically that keeps their interest there as opposed to looking anywhere else for things. So what the Imperials' interest in Thief is, you're not sure, but it never seems like the Imperials show up and, hurt Thief in any way. They might occasionally pop in and do, a quote-unquote pirate raid, rounding up pirates in the outer belts of the system. But aside from that, they don't really come away with anything. But other than that, they leave Thief alone. They might show up and park their ships there, but nothing else. So there's something going on here. It's very strange.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish we had more sources of information to tap into. But all we have is for the uncle, and I don't know if we should trust him.
Yeah.
Chimshi Sayana?
I feel like when I tried this the last time we met with him, it was not successful, but I'll give it a shot.
So you're wanting to try to read Admiral Derokyn?
Yeah, surface thoughts.
Okay.
Let me see. But yeah, I will do my best.
Okay. So roll 2d plus your psionics and spend your points.
Oh, no, I'm not going to get anything.
Okay.
Thanks for trying.
It was Snake Eyes.
Oh.
Which gets me to a whopping 4.
Yeah, no, that's not enough. So yeah, you don't get anything on
my own mind at that point.
Oh, excuse me, I got a bloody nose. But yeah. No, you don't get anything reading him at this point. So you've got a couple of things. So you get back to your suite at the Grand Hotel. You got a couple of things to discuss here. Now, I'll bring up the map so you can decide how you want to go about this. I really need to clean this up. Here we go. So here is the map. You are here. So Vume is directly coreward by 1 parsec, so there's a week's travel if you want to do that. You also have your current, kind of at this point, kind of becoming a priority, is to take the cattle all the way up the Dust Belt to Thor up here.
To the Racism Ranch, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's not really a racism ranch, but yeah.
Okay, I heard a rumor it was racist.
Yeah, there are some minor skirmishes between humans and Aslan, but Thor has been settled by a lot of Ihati, and most of the ranchers there don't seem to care. There's plenty of space. Have at it. So, like I said, there are some minor skirmishes, but that's kind of to be expected.
That's a long way. Yeah.
It is a very long way.
Is there any kind of time restraint on placing the bug device on the artifact?
There is. So the ship that is taking the so it's the ship that is carrying the artifacts is coming from Salif. It is going to Vume, and then from Vume it is going to up here to Dolberg. So it's only going to be on Vume for a week. And it is en route as we speak.
Can I go to some like to a fortune teller in the lower city and follow their advice? I honestly don't know what the fuck to do. I should probably let the crew vote, but you know, asking a psychic would be more fun. So
there are probably no end of psychics in the lower city. If that's what you, if you want to try to find a fortune teller in the lower city, that is something that we could do.
I want to. Yes, let's do it.
Okay.
We can still vote, but I will vote with Madame, whatever her name happens to be.
Okay. Hold on just a second. Let me try to find something here. Oh. Okay. Oops. Ouch. Hold on, I'm creating a handout on the spot.
Wow. I would have just ripped off the psychic from Curse's Strahd.
No, this will be much more interesting. So you go into the lower city, and you do find that there is this, in a back alley, there is this. It's not even a ramshackle building. It is literally a set of canvas tarps that are set up to be a tent. And you can see that there is a makeshift like neon sign out front that says "Fortunes Red," or "Fortunes Told, Palms Red, Know Your Future."
That's exactly what I need.
And
my eyeballs glaze over and I march in with my credits in my hand.
Almost directly across the street from it is a noodle stand selling ramen and whatnot.
That's a good sign.
I'll set up shop in the ramen stand across the way while she go gets her fortune read.
Okay.
And just watch the exterior.
What are you doing, Keith?
Noodles.
Okay.
That sounds great.
So yeah, there's after your big steak dinner, yeah, there's they have noodles, they have beer, sake is popular here. So, Captain Beth, you go in, and inside you see that the interior of this tent, exactly what you would expect. There is a round table with a crystal ball sitting on it, and then like a stack of tarot cards. And then there is a back area that seems to be curtained off, and you can just kind of make out what looks like somebody bent over, kind of rummaging through some stuff, and you hear a voice that is an obvious, it is coming from a digital device. And it sounds like a fake female voice. Not unlike, an Amazon Dot or Siri or whatever. And, or kind of like the fake voice that you hear some of these videos use on TikTok. I hate that voice. But that's kind of what it sounds like. And it says, I'll be out in just a moment, and it's got a bit of an accent, but you can clearly tell that it's digital. And you sit down at the table, and you've got some credits in your hand. And the curtain parts, and you expect to see, a woman or, that maybe had throat cancer and is using a digital voice box. That's not what comes out. What comes out is a hiver. And hivers look like this.
Hiver, is it oh no, that's not what. There's a book I just finished that has a species called hivers. That's not what they look like.
This is pretty creepy. I'll try to not freak out.
Captain Beth, make a recon plus intellect check.
Got a 9.
So you notice on the floor, you feel something kind of crawl across your boot, and you look down and you see that there are a couple, not like, it's not like the floor is covered, but you see 2 or 3 of these small little maggot-like creatures. They're about maybe half a foot long, crawling around on the floor. And you kind of flick your boot, and the hiver, who is named Madame Ava, she says, "Oh, I apologize. My young get everywhere." And she stomps on one of the maggots and picks another one up and with one of her starfish-like hands and throws it out the tent. She says, "They are such a nuisance."
Madam Ava.
She says, "They're such a nuisance." She says, "What can I help you with today?" Now, here's something else you know about hivers. Hivers have a reputation of being manipulators on a galactic scale. Like, nobody really goes to war with the hivers because they end up talking you out of it. Even the Kukri have failed at going to war with the hivers. And the hivers are not vegetarians.
Wow. Dang.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to say I have 2 paths before me, and I'm not sure which one to take. One involves returning a lot of cows. The other involves placing a device on an artifact. I'm not sure which way to go.
Madame Ava kind of reaches over with one of her appendages, and with, like, if it was a human, she would be shuffling the cards with one hand, like you see some really slick gamblers do. And she even cuts the cards with one of her star-like fish hands. And then with one of the starfish tentacles on her face, she starts flipping cards over onto the table. She says, Well, from what I see that great knowledge and benefit could be given to you if you were to place this device. However,
and would the cows be okay?
She says, on the alternative, she says, if you are to do that, you'll want to hurry. It seems that things with the cows, or the Awua, are progressing quickly. She says, but there is, and she lays down a third card, and she says, this card tells me there is time to do both.
Oh, okay. That's good news. Thank you, Madam Ava.
Oh, you are most welcome, child. That will be 200 credits.
I will give her 300 credits.
Oh.
Because she's a nice lady.
So thankful. So thankful. She says, please, if you have any other questions about your future, come again and tell your friends.
I'll be back. Okay, so I'll go share my news with my friends, even though it probably makes no difference. Their opinion whatsoever.
So they're
empathetic.
they're right across the street at the noodle shop, drinking beer, eating noodles. What do you guys want to do?
I agree with placing our device on the artifacts first.
Okay.
I can go along with Captain's orders.
Don't put this on me. It's Madame Ava's fault.
You're the one that I'm highly suspicious.
You know what? I'm suspicious too, but I'm so curious about what the outcome will be that I want to do it just for that reason. Yeah.
Like I said, I'll follow the orders. No problem.
Okay. So, are you leaving immediately, or are you going to stay one more night at the Grand Hotel? What would you like to do?
I'm full of steak. I'm happy. I wouldn't mind leaving quickly.
Okay. So, yeah, you finish your noodles and beer, and you get back to the spaceport. You have to, of course, take a planetary shuttle up to the Skull. And I don't have any images of the Skull. I kind of wish I did. The Skull, if you remember, your ship was undergoing some renovations. It is done. It is ready to go. So on your ship sheet, you can, for the missile turret, you can put a ×3 next to it. It is now a triple turret with 3 missile racks in it. Don't forget to mark down that you have 3 racks of nuclear missiles. Let me see exactly how much that actually is. That would be so you've got 36 nuclear missiles on board.
Woo!
Awesome.
And you already paid them, right?
Yes, we did.
That's what I thought. So, Ching Shi, make an astrogation check.
Okay. 13.
Okay. And go ahead and make a routine piloting check to leave dock. So piloting plus dex.
15.
Very nice. All right. So it takes you about 48 hours to reach the the diameter limit, the 90 diameter limit. Your ship has early jump capability. And Keith Clark, you can make a J drive. Actually, you have to make a engineering power systems plus intellect check first.
Okay. That is 11.
Very nice. Beth, make a electronic sensors plus intellect or education check. So right before power is transferred, you are looking at the sensors. The sensors flash for a second, showing that there is a ship. The radiation levels go up as a ship emerges from jump space. And the initial scan that you see looks like it might be a patrol corvette, an Imperial patrol corvette. And then, of course, the power dims from these sensors. And looking out your window, coming at full thrust towards Thieves, you indeed see a patrol corvette. They look like... I think I have one. Indeed I do. It looks like this. You've seen ships like this before. This is not an uncommon sight, that it is so prominently flying the Imperial Starburst, just still, no matter what you know about Thieves, feels a little weird. And the last thing that you see come up on the sensors before they go dark is the transponder code comes in that it is reading this ship as the Sincerity. The Sincerity, if you remember correctly, was a ship. It was a patrol corvette that was chasing down the pirates who hit the Imperial treasure ship back on Tech World.
Yes, really? This still?
this is just going to haunt me to the end of my days, isn't it?
And within our short distance jump.
So yeah, Keith, you can make a engineering J drive plus intellect check with let's see, with a +5.
That's 13.
Okay, and so you are looking at this ship coming towards you, and Keith's like, "Yep, we're out of here," and you jump. And so you are in jump space for the next week. Now, I don't particularly have anything for Vume. So we're just going to role play our way through this. I don't even have a map. There's really not much on Vume. Hold on here. Let's see. This is still Sendall subsector. So what your computers tell you about Vume is that Vume Station is a huge modular habitat built by an unknown alien civilization many of thousands of years ago. Only a tiny fraction of the structure is inhabited by human scavengers and scrap merchants. The station was originally discovered and exploited by travelers from the Imperium, but they succumbed to a bacterial infection and many of them went insane. Today, the station is divided between 4 different factions, each of whom has a different strain of the alien sickness. Each strain has different effects on human thought processes, so the 4 factions are biologically incapable of understanding each other or understanding uninfected outsiders.
Did we euthanasia the planet?
We've got nukes. So, euthanasia. I don't know what those kids in Asia did, but so a week goes by and you come out of jump at Vume. Beth, make a electronic sensors plus intellect check.
9.
So you find this on the surface of the planet, and it'll take you about 72 hours to reach the main world. But even from here, your sensors are picking up information. And it's getting more and more detailed the closer you get. The planet is kind of a muddy rock ball. There is a large base on the planet, completely alien. It looks like it was made out of, instead of being made out of steel or even wood, it looks like it's made out of fused rock. And you are picking up that there is a Class B starport on the planet, separate from this alien habitat.
Oh, really?
Ch-
Insane people couldn't run a Class B starport, could they?
Probably not, because the four factions cannot communicate with one another because they're all differently batshit insane.
And do we know where on the planet the artifact is?
All you know is that a ship has landed there somewhere, is refueling before heading on to Dolberg. You were given a name of the ship. It is a freighter.
We need to start like scheming about how we should get on this thing, probably.
Let's see.
Because I thought the artifact was on the planet and that the ship was coming to pick it up. So that's like a different.
So yeah, no, the ship picked up the artifact at Salif here, which is where it was purchased, and it then is traveling to Vume, and from Vume to Dolberg. Now, the Class B starport is actually a high port. I apologize. It is a high port that this freighter will be docked at, and this is not a small ship. This is like a 2,000-ton freighter. This is a bulk transport, a large ship, and it is docked at the high port, which is of course run by Jadeko. You. Keith Clark, are you running communications?
Sure, I'll run communications.
Okay. So Keith, on the comms console, you're getting messages from the high port, wanting to know if you are here for docking, and recommendations. Not recommendation. You're getting warnings about the conditions on the surface of the planet, to make sure that if you go down to the surface of the world, make sure that you are wearing vac suits, that your decontamination systems in your airlocks are all currently up to current standards, and that they are in good repair because of the danger. Now, the weird thing about this is that Vume isn't listed as a amber zone or even a red zone. Amber zone being a warning to stay away. So, for instance, like Thieves is a amber zone planet, but Vume has no such restrictions. So, the warnings that are coming from the high port are kind of, if you go down to the planet, make sure that you've got good vac suits, and that maybe even hazardous environment vac suits. You don't want to catch this bug that's down there. It makes people crazy.
Here.
Captain Beth, go ahead and make a electronic sensors plus intellect check. So you are scanning. There are not very many ships docked here for obvious reasons. It's like there's a whole lot of reason to come here. There are numerous bays, but you do see that there is a 2,000-ton freighter docked here. It is the ship that you are looking for.
Oh, shit. Okay, it's already here. And it's just refueling, probably?
It's refueling. They'll probably be here on the high port for a week.
Okay.
It gives their crew a chance to stretch their legs and see something other than the inside of their ship.
Yeah.
So do you want to dock with the high port?
Yes.
Okay. Qingxi, go ahead and make a routine piloting plus dex check.
14.
Excellent. So Qingxi takes it over and butts right up. You guys don't even feel a bump, and the airlock connects. And over the comms, Keith, you hear the high port operator say, welcome to Vume High Port. That'll be 800 credits per day for docking fees.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if you guys plan to be here that long, but they will charge you 800 credits for docking and an additional 800 credits to refuel your ship.
That's fair.
Okay, so 1,600 total. And you guys step out into Vume High Port. It's not as nice of a high port as you would have expected, considering that it's being run by General Development Company. But it's not. I mean, obviously, being pirates, you've been in worse spaceports. I mean, Ergo was pretty bad. But it's not the clean corporate atmosphere that you would expect. It seems like just the normal hallways, like somebody's carried, bins full of ore or whatever through it, and nobody came after them and swept up. So what is your plan? I'm going to pick just a rando map here that we can use.
So we can either try to sneak on when nobody's on, or we can come up with a phony reason to enter the ship.
I like the idea of at least starting with trying to sneak on.
Okay.
And then if it fails, we can, be ready to follow them. I mean, we know their destination. The only other option would be to not stay at all and go on to their next stop, which we know, and be there waiting for them when they come out of their next jump.
Okay.
Those are the only two things I could think of. But if we stay to try and get on the ship now, then probably jumping ahead of them would not be an option anymore.
We got like a week of them parked. It's a big ship though, so I don't know. I wonder how many crew it has.
True. If they stagger their leave.
Or if there's so many of them that you can just like put on a uniform and blend in.
Oh yeah, that's true too.
Knock some guys out, take their dads, and
It seems like that's something we do.
Yeah.
If we haven't already done it, did we?
right?
We snuck aboard that one ship.
That's true.
So what are you guys thinking?
Yeah, I like the idea of stealing some clothes and trying to get on that way.
Cool.
So I think what I want to happen is for you guys to try and sneak on and try and find the artifact. And if you get caught, I will come in saying that you were contaminated with the insanity bacteria and you have to quarantine the whole ship.
Ooh.
And then we'll test everybody, and all the tests will come back negative, but that'll give us enough time to stick the dot on the thing.
Yes.
That's actually not a bad idea.
I like it. Let's do
Okay,
it.
cool.
I'll go on and then I'll just start without a mask on, and I'll start coughing and touching everything.
Say weird things first. That's
Like
the important
singing
part.
what is it, that international friendship song that never ends. Yeah, we're good. We got this.
But we'll have the goggles, so I should be able to see that you all are in trouble and bluster in there.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, do you want the plan to just be we sneak on board? Because we could sneak badly on board. And
Right.
as long as they don't default kill us, then we can just sneak on poorly, and then you could be like, as though we're help patients and we've snuck out and you've tracked us down.
I don't know if I want to default to that. I feel like if you can get in and get out without anybody knowing, that'd be like A plus.
That'd be best. Okay.
Yeah.
Affirmative.
Okay. So I am reusing this map. This over here is actually to your ship. This is another docking space to the ship that you would like to sneak onto. And not shown on the map, there's numerous people wandering around, port workers, things like that. And you don't see, like, there doesn't seem to be a huge security presence, but the few security guards that you do see are all armed with advanced combat rifles and Gauss pistols. They are well armed, and they, they seem to be watching you as you come on. One of the techs, as you come walking on, they kind of scan you with a hand scanner. Beth, you recognize that this hand scanner is actually it's basically a biological sniffer, and the screen comes back and flashes like green, and the tech doesn't even say anything to you. He looks over at one of the security guards and just kind of nods and gives a thumbs up. So they're scanning people as they come in to make sure that you haven't been down on the planet and are going to infect their base.
Okay.
And a customs agent, who is kind of standing over here, they want to know, have you been to the surface of the main world? Have you brought any fruits or vegetables back with you? Things like that. He wants to know, have you been to the surface? What is your plans for being in the system? Are you planning to go to the surface? All the typical questions you would expect from customs.
Good quality control.
Yeah, I mean, he wants to know, have you been to the surface? Yes or no?
No.
Are you planning to go to the surface?
No.
How long are you planning to be in the Vume system?
Less than a week.
Okay. He kind of marks that down. He says that's vague, but doable. He says, do you have anything to declare?
I declare this invasion of privacy unnecessary. Just kidding.
Everybody make a recon plus intellect check.
Oh, I'm not seeing anything, and I'm not
11.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7. What about Keith?
I had 6.
Okay. So Keith and Ching Shi, you kind of notice like the lights seem to dim for a second, and you're like, what's that? Beth, you see the lights kind of dim for a second, and you see like a blue, like almost like laser light come down through this entire area from ceiling to floor and back up.
Do we get disinfected?
Yeah, is it like UV?
Yeah. What kind of armor are you guys wearing?
I'm assuming I'm not in my battle dress, sadly, so I would be in combat armor.
Okay.
Because I would be, that's as close as I would get, because I'd be trying to be a little bit more subtle, and clomping off
Yeah.
the ship in battle dress is not terribly subtle.
Well, neither's combat armor. Nothing says subtle like combat armor.
Yeah, but like,
I'm here to buy a car. Let's negotiate.
A place to go or a thing to do as a precaution. I feel like that would be a little bit
Right. I mean, yeah, it's better than. I mean, it's.
I'm not out armored from the security forces.
True. Yeah, you're basically wearing the same thing that the security forces are wearing. So.
Sure, but I haven't outdone them.
Right. What about everybody else?
Yeah, I think I would be in combat armor too in this situation.
Okay.
I feel like Ching-Chi is old.
So, I thought I was like waiting outside and using the goggles to see what everybody else sees, but I thought I was going to be like wearing like a vac suit with like a red cross hastily painted on the front of it.
Okay, so yeah, you can stay on the ship if that's what you would like to do. We'll put you over here.
I'm supposed to rush in and declare that they've cross-contaminated or something.
So, Beth, you're on the ship. You don't have to worry about this. But Ching-Chi and Keith, and let me double check here. Combat armor. Oh, you're fine. So, Beth, you're reading on your sensors that this interior kind of customs docking space just received 10 rads of radiation.
Awesome.
But Keith Clark and Ching-Chi are wearing combat armor, which stops 85 rads. So,
Yeah, mine's 145.
Wow.
Oh, you've got the TL12
Yep.
version. So, yeah, I mean, no worries. And the customs agent looks up at you, and he's just wearing, like standard spaceport, speed suit. And
How's your workman's compensation plan?
he looks at me and goes, "Oh, don't worry. That's just the disinfectant for, just in case. We don't want any of that bacteria up here on the station." And
Just microwave you a little bit.
yeah, just heating up the hot dog. He says, "So I don't know what your business here is, but if you're looking to get a drink," he says, he points over at this door here, and he says, "Yeah, there's a small cafe back there. If you're waiting for somebody, usually that's where they show up and wait. They've got numerous different things to drink there. Welcome to Vume Station." And he goes back to his business. So what do you guys want to do?
So, I thought we would try to track down some members of this crew and maybe, I don't know, steal some of their clothes.
Right.
How are we going to do that?
Is there a spaceport employee locker room? Because I'm assuming that people that work here change their clothes, like as people on the port.
Oh, of course.
Because we could instead of trying to pass ourselves off as a member of their crew, which might be pretty difficult, we could be disinfectors from the port, disinfecting their ship.
Yeah.
Because it seems like that would be pretty standard operating procedure. Or like, we're running follow-up scans. You've been here for a while, and so we're doing follow-up scans to make sure nothing is developed.
That could work. Whichever direction you guys want to go. You can hear every once in a while the door opens and somebody comes or goes. You can hear that what he's calling a small cafe. You can hear what sounds like dubstep music. Loud, bassy, electronic music coming from every time that door opens up and then shuts again.
So what do you think? Do we want to try and hide as crew or as port employees?
We did apply for jobs once to get on a ship we wanted to get onto as well. I don't know if they need that, but...
Yeah, there was that one. Yeah, you did that with the treasure ship, actually.
Exactly. I don't know. I'm game for whatever you guys want to do.
What do you think, Keith?
So it seems like the easiest thing to do to start out is to go in this cafe and check it out, and see what we got in there.
I think maybe I'll come aboard and make my way through the thing boringly.
Okay.
Instead.
Okay, so you're gonna join them.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys come over here, and this door opens, and there are numerous people kind of dancing and carrying on. Over here, there is like an automat style bar where you just go up, you tell the AI what you would like to drink, and it serves you. There's no real bartender. And on the wall towards the ceiling, in like neon letters, the name of this place is Cafe Loco.
Well, that's in poor taste. Way too soon.
Whoops.
Are there lots of people in here? Are we to carouse?
Okay. So, yeah, there are plenty of people. These are seats along the bar. I wouldn't say a lot of people. There's maybe 15 people in here. They're all carrying on and in various states of inebriation. This is not unusual. I mean, the freighter crews, they generally, with a freighter, they will spend a week in jump space, then spend a week in port just to let the crew blow off steam, unless they're in, some kind of hurry to deliver whatever freight they've got, or if they're behind schedule. But normal operating procedure is a week in jump space, a week in port. So you guys can order drinks. Prices are like 5 to 10 credits. 5 credits for like a generic beer, and 10 credits for a mixed drink of dubious quality.
Generic beer.
Yeah. So you guys order generic beers, 5 credits each, and they come in metal. I don't know if you've seen the metal Budweiser bottles, but anyways, they're in a metal bottle just like that. But the bottle's all white, and then it's got the generic logo on the side, and it just says beer.
Feels like home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys love your generic. So Yeah, you see a number of everybody make a first make a recon plus intellect check.
13.
10.
I got 12.
Okay, so you all see that out of the 15 people that are here, like 7 of them are all wearing jumpsuits from this freighter. They all have, the shipping company logo on the back, and they're all carrying on. A couple of the people here are actually station members, and you could tell them their jumpsuits have different logos, different color. And then you see a couple of there's 2 women and a guy that are questionably dressed in any environment. And it appears that these are like they they would be known as lot lizards in the trucking industry. And they're just hanging around and kind of, bumming free drinks off of the freighter crew and, generally being floozies.
I bet they know the best rumors.
Right? The best way to get on a ship.
That's probably true. So who wants to make carouse checks?
Let's see.
I
got one
I've
for
got carouse 1.
So whoever wants to make a carouse check, you can.
Okay.
If you are unskilled in carouse, it's a -3.
And then is it intellect or charm or social?
It would be charm, would be your most appropriate stat.
I didn't do so well. I got like 5, so.
I got 9.
4.
So, Beth and Keith aren't doing very good at carouse. You're getting bounced around on the dance floor, Keith. Beth has offended one of the lot lizards, and that takes work. And they're like, well, we don't want anything to do with you. And Ching Shi, on the other hand, has stoked up a conversation with the one of the female floozies and a female security chief from said freighter.
Excellent.
What would you like to ask?
I would like to ask, let's see, how drunk are they?
The floozy doesn't seem to be drunk at all.
Okay.
But the security woman seems to be pretty tipsy. She's slurring her words. The prostitute seems like she might be drunk, but she seems like she's probably that way all the time. So,
sure. Okay. So then what I would like to do is I would like to tell the crew member that I think that I don't want to cause any trouble, but I think the working girl is trying to pick her pocket, and does she need help getting back to her ship to sleep it off?
Make a persuasion.
I can take her back to her quarters and drop her off, make sure she gets back safe.
Okay. She slurs her words and she looks at you and she goes, well, sweetie, are you coming on to me?
I just want to make sure that you get back to your ship safely. because these working girls are known for taking people for all they're worth.
The prostitute, like, she goes, well, I would never pick somebody's pocket. How dare you accuse me?
It's fine.
No, it was me that accused you, and I raised my hand. They're all mad at me already. Fuck it.
Okay. Hold on just a moment.
I mean, like, if she's offended, that's fine. What does she want to do? Arm wrestle? Like, okay.
Everyone roll initiative for the slap fight with the prostitute.
I mean, my hair's probably pulled back so she can't yank on it.
So, the drunk security woman starts to she's taking a drink, and this prostitute gets all uppity, and you're like, yeah, so what? And the security woman actually starts laughing and snorts liquor out of her nose, and she thinks this is just hilarious. And the prostitute pulls out a blade from under her skirt, and she's like, you better take that back, I'll cut a bitch.
Okay, so then I'm gonna trigger the blade that's in my mech arm.
Okay.
And tell her I'd like to see her try.
So the other two prostitutes from across the room see this going on, and one of them picks up a beer bottle and is coming towards you. The other one starts to head towards the door and is pushing his way through the crowd. So you've got the two females on you. The male is running through the crowd and pushing people out of the way, trying to get to the door.
Okay.
Hold on here.
If someone is not alerting him getting to security, that would be great.
Yeah,
You might be getting a pimp, though. You never know.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I don't think any of the three of them should leave. I mean, I don't want anybody dead, but I don't think they should leave.
yeah, I agree. I'm gonna take the guy who's trying to leave if I get a chance.
And we know they don't have the crazy bacteria.
Exactly. Maybe they just don't remember it. Maybe they don't know, and maybe
It's actually transmitted.
All right, everybody roll initiative.
Oh, God damn it, really? Okay.
All right, so between Ching Shi and Keith Clark, which one of you wants to go first?
She should go first.
Okay.
she's the dummy that starts it every time.
Okay, so Ching Shi,
I thought it was going to be such an easy way to get on the ship. Just be like, let me see you home safely.
So from experience,
I've done it enough times when I was in a sorority. You just like say, no, don't go see that guy's fish tank. I'll walk you home.
having been a DJ for a strip club, I can tell you that nothing in that kind of environment is ever easy. It's always complicated. It's one way or another. Things I learned not to do. Don't kick up in the dancer's dressing room door and say, bitches, where's my money? Nobody wants to hear that. So Ching-Shi, you've popped the blade out, and she's got a blade in her hand. What would now? This is I don't know. I guess maybe. Yeah, I guess it's blade. Just seems like blade seems awfully large, but anyways, yeah. So you don't know where she was hiding that, somewhere in her prison purse, and she's got this blade out, and you've popped the blade out of your cybernetic arm. What do you want to do?
I want to wave my blade around ominously so that it attracts the attention, but then punch her in the face with my other hand.
Okay, so go ahead and make.
Look over here! Look over here!
I will say. Make a melee unarmed attack plus your choice, either dex or strength.
Okay. Ooh. 8. Oh, that hit.
That does hit. Just a second here. All right, so roll 1d for damage, plus your strength mod.
Okay. Which is nothing. And I rolled a 6, so that's nice.
Okay. She takes the punch like she's probably been smacked before, and she turns back and looks at you and grins with bloody teeth. Did you want to move at all with your minor action?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Keith Clark, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna go after the guy who's heading out the door.
Okay.
And
so to give you an idea of this guy, what this guy's dressed like, he's wearing like a tank top made of rainbow colored sequins that are almost like scales, and like hot pink leather pants.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, how would you track him down?
His stealth and disguise rolls must be massive.
Try to knock him down.
Okay, so with your minor action, you're going to move.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and make a melee unarmed plus your choice of either dex or strength.
Okay. It is 9.
Okay, so roll 1d plus 1 plus your strength mod.
That is 5.
Oof. Okay. All right, so you tackle this guy and you grapple him and throw him to the ground. Pretty much everybody on the dance floor is now like cheering and being like, fight, 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 fight. One of them's like, they're going to fight the whores.
So basically, it's a typical like Tuesday night.
Yeah, at most spaceport bars. Yeah. And the prostitute is going to try to knife Ching-Shi.
Thought she'd bite her for sure.
Yeah, probably. Wait, what is
But
her?
if that happens, then you become one. No, I'm sorry. I'll stop.
Yeah. Doesn't that mean you'll turn into a stripper if she bites you? So she rolled a 12.
It wouldn't be the first time.
Let's see here. So, 8, 9, 10, 12. No, that's only 4 over. So it doesn't. I don't think it's going to go. It almost went through your combat armor. She did 15 points of damage.
Promote that woman to the head of the military command for this unit.
And she's like,
Respected.
she's like got her teeth clenched and she's acting like a feral cat. This prostitute here is like, hey, you leave him alone. And she runs over here and is going to smack or attempt to hit Keith with the beer bottle, which, by the way, is made of metal, but it is empty. There's improvise. A 9. So, yeah, that's not good. So, she comes up behind Keith and goes bonk with this beer bottle, but she only does 3 points of damage. And
Nice.
this prostitute, the one on the ground, starts yelling out like in a frantic scream, rape, rape, rape. And
damn it.
that's all he does.
Is
Cap-
it combat armor? I don't think so.
yeah, right. It's so difficult to enact that while wearing combat armor. Captain Beth, what would you like to do?
Yeah, so this one's more feral. These two, it's not as fair of a fight. I'll go smack this one. Push her. I don't know.
Okay.
Grappler. That
Okay.
seems like the best thing.
Make a melee unarmed attack plus your choice of dex or strength.
An 8.
That is just hit. So roll 1d for damage and add your strength modifier to it.
5.
Ooh. All right, so you crack this prostitute over the head. And now she's pissed off. And then the door opens. There we go.
So, Chris, I'm assuming my combat armor has med kit in it, right?
Yes. All of your combat armor should have.
Is there any way I can squirt like a tiny bit of tranquilizer into the drink of the crew member?
No. So the med kit in your combat armor is basically a auto dock that is like strapped to your thigh, and it is constantly monitoring your vitals, so that if you take damage to 2 stats, so if it's just your endurance, probably not going to do anything. But if you take damage to another stat, either dex or strength, it's then going to kick in and inject you with drugs to do first aid, and basically it's a stimulant.
In that case, do I have anything on my person that I could easily toss underneath the prostitute? Like, I know, like, because credits will be all digital, it's not like really a wallet, but.
Well, they're not all digital. I mean, there is cash. There are vellum bills. They're not exactly paper, but they're like a plastic paper.
Then I'm gonna as sneaky as I can, toss my wallet underneath the hooker.
To try and get her to go for your wallet?
No, to say that she stole it.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you toss your wallet, and just about then the door to the cafe over here opens up, and you see there are two security guards that come in, and they both are like, oh, God, not again. And they pull out stun sticks. And they will go on initiative 0. So your main action is to toss or as your minor action, you toss your wallet. What would you like to do with your significant action?
With my significant action, I'm going to put my hands up. I'm going to say, look, I saw her trying to take shit. I called her on it. She pulled a weapon. I responded. I don't want any trouble with port security. That's what happened.
Okay. The drunk security woman from the freighter. Oh shit. Just rolled boxcars. And she is not a small woman. She's kind of built like Pam from Archer. And she reaches over with a left and clocks the prostitute. For 4 points of damage. Keep in mind, she rolled a 1. And the prostitute gets hit and looks at the security woman like her feelings are hurt. And Keith Clark, what would you like to do now that the security you can see the security are coming in and they've pulled out stun sticks?
Oh, God. I think I'll follow Ching Shi's lead and say, I don't want any trouble. I'm just trying to de-escalate the situation here.
Okay. Go ahead and make a persuasion plus charm check.
Okay. Oh, 7.
So the security guards, boy, the security guards aren't really buying that. You see them go click, and you see these stun sticks start to go with electrical charge at the end. The prostitute under you, he pulls out a blade and tries to stab you, but he is clearly no good at that. He's so bad that he stabs you. When he hits your armor, he kind of twists his wrist and he's like, ow, and drops the blade. The other
this isn't our fault. We're just trying to respond to a situation safely. We're so glad you got here.
The other prostitute rolls a 12 to hit Captain Beth with the beer bottle. But 9 points of damage. So Beth, are you wearing combat armor, or what are you wearing?
I think so. I mean, I decided to go on when I saw that they had that the other plan wouldn't work. And it was like a leisurely stroll in. I thought I'd have time to change.
So yeah, it doesn't even get through your armor. She bounces the metal beer bottle off your armor. This prostitute picks up Ching-Shi's wallet with her one of her minor actions, and then runs.
Oh, you've been proved right.
Over here. Oh wait, that's not where I wanted to go. Sorry. She runs over here and is trying to get up the stairs. The security guards, I doubt, are going to tolerate that. He runs over here. And hits her with the stun stick. This doesn't seem correct. Hold on here. I kind of thought the whole point of a stun stick was that they would be stunned. I mean, maybe I'm wrong about that, but it's kind of in the name.
That's good, because when she's stunned, we can set her up with more crap.
Right.
Way more stuff about her.
Here we go. Stun stick. Short, innocuous-looking weapon with the ceramic stick can deliver painful and debilitating shock to anyone who touches the wrong end. Oh, yes. 2D traits stun. Right, but... Traits. Weapon traits. Stun. Weapons are designed to deal non-lethal damage, incapacitating a living target rather than killing it. Damage is only deducted from endurance, taking into account any protection. If the target's endurance is reduced to 0, the target will be incapacitated and unable to perform any actions for a number of rounds by which the damage exceeded their endurance. Damage received from stun weapons is completely healed by 1 hour rest. Okay, so that's a great motivator. All right, so he's going to do 2D. For 6 points. And she doesn't go down, but man, she lets out a yelp. This guy is going to come over here and do the same thing to that one. Completely misses. In fact, the stun end almost catches Keith in the face. Captain Beth, what would you like to do?
I'll take the disengage action. So, I don't know.
You technically could. You could use your minor action to disengage from this and move away.
Yeah, I'm getting against the wall and putting up my hand, and I'm not saying shit.
Okay. So the security has come in, the music has now stopped, and everybody on the dance floor, they see security and they all put their hands up. And the prostitutes surrender. Especially this one, because she does not want to get hit by the stun stick again. And she drops the blade, and she says, well, that one, and she points at Ching-Shi, that one over there tried to knife me.
No, I didn't. I genuinely did it. For what? I'm not going to say the one for what. I'm going to say no. I tried to sucker punch you because you stole my shit. See? Checker.
The security guard reaches in and pulls your wallet out of the waistband of her ratty skirt and says, "Is this your wallet?"
Yes. Yes, it is. See, I told you. I just wanted to take care of everybody.
The security guard turns to the other one and it says, "See, I told you, the whores are causing problems again. And so let's round these three up. You three are going to spend a night in detention." And the security guard asks Ching Shi, "Do you want to press charges on this?"
No, I'm just glad it got resolved and the truth came out.
Okay. So
Oh, man.
these two security guards round up the three prostitutes, and there's kind of some boos and moans from the rest of the freighter crew, because now their nightly entertainment is gone. And the drunk security woman, she looks at Ching Shi, she goes, "Man, you're pretty good. Hey, why don't we go back to my quarters on the freighter and the four of us can all have a nightcap?"
That sounds great.
Okay. All right. So we will pick up next week with you guys having a drink with the security chief on this freighter next week.
Well done. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
I know. Thanks, Chris.
Yep.